and hear about what he could do with teens, we are also going to do it ourselves. So I'm not going to waste any more time talking. I'm going to hand it over to Wayne, and we're going to go ahead and get started with our giving circle.
Thank you, Kelly, so much. So just to let you know, I'm working on 2 screens. So I'm kind of looking, I see you all here. So I just apologize the fact that I'm sort of moving my head. But thank you so much to incredible partners at JumpSpark with Kelly and Annie. I'm so thrilled that we're going to be able to literally do a speed marathon in learning about giving circles for teens. And just a little bit about me. I'm the executive director of the Jewish Teen Funders Network. We are based here in New York. This is clearly not a New York accent. I'm from Melbourne and I've been with the organization for a number of years. Always happy to play Jewish geography because for sure, all these wonderful faces that I'm looking at, you would certainly know people in common with me. The session that we're going to do today is really about how do we understand philanthropy? What are some of the core elements about engaging in this work that we can then teach and engage with our teens? And how does philanthropy really stimulate our connection to Judaism and to think about why things are important to us and the impact that we want to make? The session today is modeling, and I believe it's best by doing. And this process is called observational involvement, and it's about us being present, participating, as well as stepping back and being able to witness and observe it. So I'm going to share my screen, which is the first part of really how we're going to be thinking about doing this work. So where's my share screen button? There we go. So welcome to our office. This is the JTFN, the Jewish Teen Funders Network office. I'm going to be giving you all the link to jump in shortly, but I just wanted to do some quick little navigation. So everything in this office is clickable. If you want to email me, I'm obsessed with milkshakes, hence my milkshakes there. You can email me, you click on that there. Our wonderful colleagues at JumpSpark always need a picture frame of the 2 of them on my bookshelf. You can click them and you'll go to their website. In here are 2 activities we're actually going to be participating in. There's some fun little hidden links in there about where you may go when you click on some of the pieces. And the main part too is that we're actually going to be exploring, as the first part of this giving circle, the 7 core values that really generate this idea of what we think about philanthropy. So this will be the space that you'll be able to go through and look at. So before we start and I share the link, I would love for you just to get into the mindset about how we think about giving, and that can be whether it's financial or volunteering. Obviously, our program is about financial giving, but if you can throw into the chat box a place where you have given money or volunteered in 2020. It could be an organization that you're familiar with. It could be something that you donated to externally, somewhere maybe in Israel, maybe an international organization. It would just be great to kind of look and see what the places have been that people have volunteered. So the chat box is open. Please feel free to just throw in where some of the places have been that you've donated to or you have volunteered. So we've got a number of ones. We have Concrete Jungle, LA Holocaust Museum, Atlanta. So there's things that I see. We have local, national, federations, food banks. So it's a whole range of different places that we as a collective group already are thinking about the different areas that we care about and think about. So I'm going to throw in, this is the Google Classroom that we are going to use today. So everyone will now have the link to that. And the first part of this is to go into the Google Classroom. You will have this available to you after the session. So I know we're very tempted to click and touch all these things. So if you can, the first part of it is to look through the gallery walk. On the bottom right-hand side, you'll see a Valerie's gallery arrow. If you click on that, you'll be able to look through the 7 core values of what we really think about being the antithesis of how we think about philanthropy and what are the values that generate us to think about. So what I would like you to do is go through them. You will be able to click on the individual values, and when you do, it will take you to a Safari page. On that page, there's more information about the values, but we're literally, as I said, this is a marathon race for us. We're literally going to take 1 or 2 minutes just for you to look through the 7 core values, and I want you to think about which of the one of the 7 resonates most with you. It resonates most with why you give, how you see yourself in the world today, and then we're going to come back and talk about that. So I'm going to mute myself for just a minute while you explore the 7 core values and look through the gallery walk. When you've selected your value, if you can, just throw it into the chat box when you're done. So a minute and a half. Okay, I see some of the ones coming in. For those of you who've selected your value, we have a little game. So take your time if you still need to look through. You have literally 1 minute to look around your apartment, your office, wherever you are. Grab something near you, something that you can pick up. It might be in the next room. Literally a minute. I want you to grab something that represents the value that you picked. So if you can all quickly take a minute, run, grab your thing, might be right next to you, it might be something, but quickly for a minute, grab something that represents the value. Okay, I think we were just waiting for a couple more people to come back on screen. Kelly's back. We're just waiting for Abby, Russell. Russell's back. We just wait for Abby and Sharon maybe. Okay, while we wait for them, 1 or 2 more people to come back, I'm just going to call on a couple people who've put their value in. So Rebecca Gordon, if you want to unmute yourself and just tell us the value you picked and why.
Hi, I put loving kindness because that is something I try and instill in our students here at the school. And the thing I picked was my little book about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. But after I picked this one, I also figured justice would fit in perfectly well with that as well. So it kind of, she goes along with all of them.
Amazing, thank you. And Rebecca, where are you from?
I am at
organization?
Gesher Torah Synagogue in Alpharetta, Georgia.
Okay, amazing, thank you. Let's see, who have I? Ilana Perry, if you want to unmute yourself and just tell us the one you picked and why.
Sure. I also picked justice. And can you hear me okay?
Yeah, great.
Yeah, okay, all right. And I just have my phone because that is at this time, it's a way of getting involved in advocacy and donating to political causes and staying informed on issues. And so this is my device for connecting to all of those things.
Amazing. Let's hear for one more. Let's see. I am going to pick someone. Nancy.
Hi there, everyone. I picked kavod, and I found my picture here, which is, you know, I think one of the beauties of being a creative person is you find the thing and then you fit how the thing fits into the thing, right? But you know, I think some of those texts from Safari that I was reading very briefly about kavod, you know, is somebody born with it or can it be instilled in somebody? So I think the picture kind of represents how we can fill ourselves up with as much kavod for ourselves, for the world, for others, and then every so often situations cause some of that kavod to tip out, and it's our goal to keep our picture as full as we possibly can.
Oh, I absolutely love that. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the work that we're doing is exactly that. It's about having, oh, I love someone put a heart. Thank you, Suzanne. You know, it is about a picture. It's about how do we fill that up? And as educators in the work that we do, it's about how do we enable us to pour that with others. So if everyone just wants to lift up what they got, I'm just curious to see some of the interesting like objects that everyone has. So we have such an array of different and cool things. So if you can keep that next to you, because we're going to come back to that in the session later. So the next piece really is about thinking about this core value that you have thought about and that you're passionate. And in our little classroom, you'll see there are two posters on my wall. One says justice issue and one says value. So if everyone can please open up you click on the one that says justice, and it goes to a program called Flippity. So just stepping back out as this observational involvement, if we step out, these are all tools. You'll have them. You'll be able to use them. You can come back to JumpSpark, to JTFN. These are online spaces. Flippity is a fantastic platform. It's asynchronous that you can actually you can send it out to your teens that you'll be able to use in this process. And so it's a way that we can also model it, use it, and then also take it back to our program. So this part is just taking a minute or so. There are 22 justice issues that we have identified within the Jewish Teen Philanthropy program. And it's about how those are the most common ones that teens think about it. For sure, there are others, but we specify these 22 because we know they're the common ones that teens think about. What I would like you to do is to pick 3 of the top justice issues, which are the ones at the bottom, education, literacy, to pick 3 of them and to place them. Either you may place all 3 into one justice issue, into one value, or you may place one in each. So if you just take a minute or so just to pick 3 of your top justice issues that you care about and to place them within a value. Okay. The point of this exercise is for us to start to think about how do we think about these justice issues as they relate to the values that we care about and to the things that we seek to address in the world. What I would normally do and what I would encourage you to do with your teens is that you would take this opportunity to then go through and everyone would have a chance to maybe share. You would potentially use breakout rooms and share the slides. But in recognizing our time commitments, I'm going to move us straight into the next part of this, which is going through to the next part, which I'm going to share my screen with everybody, which is this one. for us as a group, it's important for us to identify what is the one value or potentially two that really is going to help us in our Giving Circle experience today. The way that we're going to do this is that I'm curious to hear, and you can unmute yourselves. How do we think about these group values? Is there one that potentially none of us have even picked? And so I potentially could just say that, you know what, not to say that any of these are not important, but none of us picked preservation. A number of us picked this one. I heard that we had some hope. I think we had that, you know, there's some maybes. So this is, again, a platform that you can use for us to think about it, because ultimately we're trying to get to essentially one, maybe two values that are going to guide us in this process. So I'm going to stop sharing because I will have that up on my wall. That little slide is in the values in the classroom. If you click values, you can see it there. But we're going to use a process of consensus to come to this one group value that our group. So the way that we're going to use consensus in this place by observation is that when we use a thumbs up, it means that we're completely in agreement. When we have a thumbs halfway, we're like, I'm okay with that decision and I'm okay for it to move on. And if it's a thumbs down, it's like I definitely disagree and I'm not happy. I want to say something. So in order of us being able to move through this as quickly as possible, I would like to know, I'm going to just call out and see. I know that we had people had justice, and I'm going to just look through we had responsibility, hope, loving kindness. So we actually had a lot of everyone. I think we had through these. I would say that we've had a lot of kavod, we've had a lot of justice, human dignity. So are there any in here that people feel very strongly about? And this is your opportunity to unmute. Are there ones that people think that are going to, for us as a group, that we should really think about? I'm looking at Talia, so maybe I'm going to jump at you. What did you pick, Talia?
Sorry, I was responding to an email. I picked justice.
Justice, okay.
Yeah, that was what I selected.
Did anyone else pick justice? We had, yeah, hands up. Yeah, there was quite a few there. Okay, so I'm happy for us to keep justice in the yes pile. What about human dignity? Did we have a number of people picking human dignity? We had one. Yeah, we had a couple there too. What about service? Did anyone pick service? Okay, that's an easy one. I'm going to move it into the no pile. Preservation. Did anyone pick preservation? Okay, I'm going to move that into the no pile. Loving kindness. Do we had one, two. Okay, for the ones who had loving kindness, what do you feel about it potentially moving out and focusing on another one? Justice and human dignity are the ones that were common. That's a thumbs up from Laura and Michelle. There's a nod. Great. So I'm going to move loving kindness into the no pile. All right, so we got hope and responsibility left. Did anyone pick hope? One, two. Jesse, Jackie, how do you feel about us? It's in the maybe pile right now. How do you feel about us moving it to the no? You're okay? Yeah, great. Okay, and responsibility. Did we have anyone picking responsibility? We had Linda. Okay, Linda, how do you feel about us moving it across to the no pile? You okay? Great. So we have justice and human dignity as our two core values that this group are thinking about. Are we okay to pick those two, or would we prefer to maybe stick with one? What are the thoughts? Two, I see two. We're good with two? Okay. I'm going to take that as a consensus. So if everyone puts their thumbs up as a consensus that we're all okay with picking justice, tzedek, human dignity, and kavod, amazing. So we have thumbs up for everyone. Is there any complete thumb down? No. Fantastic. So remember that our values as a group are justice and human dignity, but I also want you to keep in mind the original, your personal value that you used. Okay. So the next part is now really the fun part. We're going to explore breaking up into 4 groups, and he's going to throw into the chat box the 4 different organizations that we're thinking about exploring. So we're going to have 4 groups, group 1, 2, 3, and 4. You will have the Google Doc, which outlines the 4 different organizations. Each group that you're assigned to will look at that particular. So if you're group 1, you'll look at the docket sheet from group 1, and so on. We're going to literally take about 2 or 3 minutes to have a read through, and then I want someone from the group to come back and just share a little bit about that organization before we move to the next stage. So Annie, take it away to do randomized breakout groups, and we will see you all back literally in a couple minutes. While we're waiting for everyone to come in, I'm just noticing, Russell, it looks like you have a Jackson Pollock behind you.
Oh, it's actually a combo chupfica, which is a little bit more affordable than a Jackson Pollock, but it is a similar style, and that is a drip painting. But combo actually uses a different kind of paint, and he does a belt sander. So it's a little bit more of an aggressive piece of art. But thank you for noticing it. I'm fond of it.
Of course. Well, listen, hopefully he does get as expensive as Jackson Pollock. You'll be sitting on a few $1 million behind you. Yeah, it's just, I was just noticing as people coming in, everyone's backgrounds, we're in an incredible space right now where we really get to see people's homes and lives. And I thank you for, including that and sharing all of that. So thank you. So we're going to move straight ahead into group 1. Group 1 had Jump Camp Initiative. So can we just have someone just tell us quickly a little bit about that organization? Who's the representative?
Yeah, hi.
Hey, Elizabeth.
Hi. Yeah, so we have the Jewish Camp Initiative that gives grants, supports the One Happy Camper program to get more Jewish kids to summer camp. And we love the organization. We love camp. We know that Jewish camp is a big part of identity for Jewish kids as they grow up. We had a hard time connecting it to our 2 Jewish values, so we don't know if our organization is going to meet the needs of everybody when we're talking about justice and kavod, but we love Jewish camp.
Okay. Elizabeth, you're perfect with timing. Well done. Number 2, Age Well. Who's the representative from Age Well? Group 2. Who is your representative?
Did we assign a representative?
No, but I hear Nancy speaking.
that's
So
you,
Nancy, well
Nancy.
done you for being voluntold.
Everyone was so quiet. Age Well Atlanta, which is not a new organization, it provides support and guidance for families and the individuals in the decisions that they have to make at the stage of their life as they're aging, and it really fits in well with kavod, human dignity. We talked about the idea of it's there to provide as much dignity as we can for individuals, and especially now in the time of COVID, it's super important. There's a lot of people that are isolated, and also people on right now in real time using this organization with our own aging parents. So we find it a very helpful organization.
Great. Thank you so much. Number 3, Innovation Fund. Who is the spokesperson?
Yeah, I will be speaking on behalf of the Innovation Fund. I actually do this as my job. I work as the Innovation Manager at Federation, so I'm well equipped to talk about it. And we are a department of Federation that supports entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs in Jewish Atlanta, bringing some really cool things to life. We support new ideas, new programs at existing nonprofits, and new homes for a national nonprofit. And we think by supporting these new ideas, we are helping to Jewish Atlanta to thrive, bringing new energy and new concepts to our community. We support these ideas through grant making, through mentorship, and through amplifying their efforts with our marketing team. We think it's a really important program and initiative for the Jewish community, but like my friend said earlier, it may not be the best fit for justice and kavod, but I think it's valuable nonetheless.
Okay, thank you, Russell. Number 4, last one, PJ Library. Talia,
I
hey.
am the representative. Hello. Okay, so PJ Library is a, I guess, nonprofit through Federation, but it's a program that provides free books to Jewish families around the city of Atlanta, and they do this free of charge. So from ages 6 months to 12 years old, you can get a free book once a month from PJ Library that is age appropriate. And this would be this fits into Kavod and Tzedek, both in a way that it provides some type of education free of charge, because reading is a really important and crucial part of a child's education, and making sure that people and families have the ability to provide like somewhat free ways to impact your education is a great part of justice and kavod. So yes.
Thank you. So the last part of this process is that we have got $10 per person on the call that we are going to be donating on behalf of each of you. So I don't know how many do we have? How many people are we? 24 of us. So $240 that is going to be going to one of the nonprofits that we select on behalf of all of us, which is really thrilling. And now it's for us to make the decision on which one of the organizations are we going to support. So the reason I asked you to keep your physical piece of value next to you, even though it was assigned to something personal, the whole idea of when we think about values, it is meant to enable us to connect to our Jewish identity. It's also about us connecting with what we as a group had decided. So having this piece physically next to you is just a reminder for you about us thinking about justice and human dignity, tzedek and kavod in our decision-making moving forward. I even heard some people who mentioned that in terms of how we think about that. So through our consensus building model, we are going to decide which of the 4 organizations, which one of the 4 we are actually going to be allocating our money to. So in your program, we encourage you to do it by consensus and hearing people's responses if they agree or disagree. People do voting, but we really encourage the discussion around consensus that enables that respectful dialogue with one another, especially when people then can see about how they want to think about voting. So I'm going to list off the different organizations, and I'll be curious just to see a show of hands that we can try and get to like even to 2. So Jump Camp Initiative, how does that align with justice and kavod? Is that an organization that you would think that's your priority to allocate to? Okay, so that's a no. It's an easy. Now we're going through this very quickly. We clearly would do this in a much more robust way, but sadly, whilst we love Jump Camp Initiative is off the table. Age Well, how does that fit in with justice and human dignity? We have a number of hands. I see a lot of hands. Great. So we're going to keep that in. Innovation Fund. How do we think about that one? Okay, Russell, you have a fantastic Jackson Pollock behind you. You'll be fine. We're going to unfortunately take that one off the table. It's really important. We love the Federation, but that one's off the table. The last one is PJ Library. How are we thinking about PJ Library around justice and kavod? What's our thoughts on that one? I don't see, we see one hand. We may see a 1.5. Talia, you've got love hearts on your shirt. Is that what you have on your shirt? Oh, I thought I saw little love hearts, but
It's a Florida gator.
a Florida gator, not love hearts, but we'll pretend.
Sorry.
Okay, so it looks like we have a majority sway towards Age Well. So for us to move ahead with the final decision to say that Age Well is the organization we as a group representing our values, if we can all get either a thumbs up, an okay, or a thumbs down. So I see a thumbs up. Susie, thank you. I see your thumb. Shlomo, I'm going to assume your thumb is up. We have consensus. So Mazal Tov, congratulations to you all. We are going to be allocating money to Age Well. We got a thumbs up from Shlomo. I see it. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, so much. This was a lightning round of doing this experience with you. Hopefully you got like a little bit of a taste with what we do in philanthropy and how we think about this. We're going to be developing a more robust program around how we think about this around Israel. And this was really an opportunity for you to kind of get excited and enthusiastic about how do we use online engagement? What are some of the tools? How are we going to think about engaging our teens in this work? Thank you so much. Our time is up. For me, I know you've got another 25 minutes with the amazing team at JumpSpark. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Wayne. Everybody, let's